What is going on, guys? My name is Ty, and I have Kyle here as always with me, and we are the Weekends Warriors podcast for disc golf. What is going on? We are back here on another week, and we have a ton to unravel for you guys. We have a very nice and quite a long Rodney's corner. It's really cool breaking down what went down Jonesboro, and then obviously we're going to be talking about Music Open coming up this weekend. And yeah, it's been pretty cool. Awesome to be able to do that. We have one more podcast before Rodney and myself travel up to Walnuts, so he will hear us one more time before we go up. And yeah, we're counting down the days for Walnut Open. Very excited. It has now been grind mode on the Thai guys. um I My broken basket is doing well. I rebuilt it and at least get some putts in. And the thing is like if I hit middle chain and it still pops out because it's so wobbly, doesn't matter. I hit the middle chain. I know that the regular baskets will let it go in, so I'm not too worried about it. But um to yesterday was the day one. Every single day I throw at least 100 putts in. So 100
Yeah,
putts
it's
in.
awesome.
And I do 50 at 20 and then 50 at 30. So and they have to make it in. So technically I throw more if I miss, but I have to make 100.
At least
So
100.
yeah, I have to make 100. So this morning was a little bit of workout.
I
So
need a I my putting has been so bad this past
yeah.
month. Leading in it's been my putting has just been I have not been a good putter in general. I
Um
won't even act like I've ever been a good putter,
yeah.
but my putting has been like super off the past like the
I feel that.
weekend, just the past like month or so. I my putting game just has been
Yeah. And they're taking longer because like technically if I really count, I have over like 20 putters, but they're not all the same putters. There's like I have like, just random ones. And I used to throw all of them just to get reps in, but then I start to realize like when I got further back, they all act differently. And it's just like I can't realistically do that because why would I throw like my wizard and all just all my other ones like when I'm throwing my Luna or Berg or like it just doesn't make sense. So I've only been throwing my two orange Bergs that I want to have, and I still throw my Luna because obviously my Luna is my go-to main. Um so those three I've been putting those for the past 2 days and they feel good in my hand. So we're gonna keep doing that. But yeah, guys, we got a lot for you for this pod. We're gonna be going through some great stuff. We're gonna go through what Kyle he had an opportunity this weekend. He got to play with somebody super cool and special and in the community. Also, we'll talk about the grind of Walnut, of what's happening, what's going down with that in about 2 weeks. And then also Roddy's Corner, which is super amazing. Definitely hear that. Before we do anything, I do have a quick ad read that I would love to do for you guys. So right now, Gravity Disc Golf exists to exceed your out of this world expectation with unparalleled custom design, disc, and apparel. Gravity is creating an atmosphere where disc golfers can enjoy every aspect of disc golf while blasting off with space themed design. No matter what you throw, Gravity has designs on almost every manufacturer and can make your game look great. They offer free shipping on orders over $75, and John includes a nice note to each customer. Make sure you check them out at gravitydiscgolf.com to complete your bag. And let me tell you, it is out of this world with all their opportunities. Definitely use one of our codes for 10% off your next order. KG10 for Kyle and Ty DG10 for Ty Guys Disc Golf. Go online, check them out. Any word yet on our players pack yet?
No, like I said, I know he was looking at the 19th, so I'm giving it till
Mhm.
the 19th to see if I
That's right.
get the update. So by Friday we'll know. So
Well, let's put it like this. So, like I said, um, I it's for me it's 2 days. Um,
that's what I'm hoping for.
so the reason why I'm saying that is because, um, like I said, guys, we did a March Madness bracket for Gravity Disc Golf team. I came in second place. They actually gave me a second place prize,
Yeah,
and
that's
which is
awesome.
actually on your guys' tag. They gratefully gave me a anoid,
I know
anoid,
it. Yep, and
yeah,
RT plastic too.
yeah,
That's
anoid.
I think that's a recyclable plastic. I believe. I know that's a plastic. It's a different plastic. So the
Yeah,
R2 plastic.
yeah, first neutron feels good. They asked me favorite ones. They're like, "Hey, what do you like?" I'm just like, you know what? I do disc grab MVP or Castle Blast currently right now for some things. I'm very open with whatever. So if you want to give me whatever, that's fine. I definitely like more of a firmer feel. Which, by the way, this is a nice firm. It honestly, to me, it almost feels as shallow as my Luna, but it also has like a my glitch feeling. So I definitely want to try it. Haven't got a chance to try it out yet, but it feels good in my hand. Like I said, um, I would like to just test it out in the field and see what I'm gonna do with it. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, they gave me this. Super cool. Grateful for you guys. Guy asked, not even seconds later, he gives me a tracking number, and all of a sudden 2 days later it's sitting at my doorstep.
Mhm.
So I'm expecting this probably the same for the players pack, which is going to be great. um I'm just hoping that it comes in because I definitely want to represent Gravity Disc Golf when we're playing. So
Oh,
but
same.
yeah, it's super exciting. We are down into the countdown. I'm sure you guys are going through some back end of things on for TD. So that's going to be really cool. I mean, you guys are just on it. I think right now there's what, like 51 players out of 86 or something like that.
I think 57 now.
57.
Yeah. Um, so if you're listening to us and you are local, get yourself signed up because I think it closes on the 20th. 59 now. We're almost at 60. So
Wow. Okay.
we're getting close. Like I said, it will fill it. The last every year it's
Always.
filled up, and that
Always.
last few days it has filled up like
Always.
quick. So if you haven't signed up, definitely go and sign up. Again, it's the Walnut Open. Here in Walnut, Illinois. But right now we have 15 people in MA3 that will be facing. It's
Nice.
including you and I. Um, there is 22 MA4s. So I love seeing that too. But it'll be exciting. Like you said, I just hope we, like you said, get the player packs in and we'll be able to represent them. Hopefully they'll be in and we can wear them Friday when we do a practice round and you know,
Oh, that'd be cool.
be able to represent them for practice round, wear the hats for our podcast and stuff like that. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing, you know. Like at least I
Uh,
wear mine because I won't lie, I did ask for another hat. I am not getting the same hat as you guys possibly. So
oh, you asked for a different hat.
yeah, I did. I said, hey, I just had a quick question. I really like the design on these hats. Is there any way I can possibly switch them out? It's like, yeah, no problem. If there's not overload, yeah, we can possibly do that for him. Like, cool. Thanks, John. You're awesome.
Yeah. No, that's
They're like I
smart.
said, they are super awesome. Super, super awesome there. So uh
Yeah, we'll
excited
definitely
for the tournament.
see how that goes. But yeah, we're very excited with that. I think as of right now, I might do another like just vlog round just by myself, like at my local course.
I really need to do that.
Um, I don't want to. So, like I said, I'm putting in my garage, which is kind of nice because there's like crap all over the place. So I have to like kind of shoot with. things around, so it's not just like a straight shot. Like I have to like it's very tight knit, and also like right at the 30-foot mark. It's actually in between both my cars, both Sarah and I's car, and in the driveway. So like actually throwing in a kind of narrow hall. So it's kind of allowing me to I'm not in the best position. So if I could do it already in a small, narrow like spot and like there's stuff all over the place, there should be no excuses for me to be able to do a open wide, 25 footer or even 30 footer. So it's definitely um it's nice kind of what I'm doing. So hopefully it doesn't mess me up too much, but mainly I'm just focusing on my putting. Uh I feel like my short game is really great. And then I definitely want to work on my driving. But other than that, I can tell you right now, the only holes I'm really worried about, there's only four of them. Well, my bad. There's five of them that I'm really kind of worried about. And that's hole hole 5, hole 8, and all of the woods ones. So I guess that's
Mhm.
15, 16, 17.
Yeah, so for hole 15, I've learned that it's just for me specifically, and I know Josh does the same thing. It's a standard zone shot for me.
Mm,
It's just
okay.
you throw a zone flat and straight, and it usually right there. Um, 16, it's up to you if you want to do a turnover or a massive forehand. You like doing more turnover, so that will
Yeah.
work out for you. 17, honestly, it's just beat the gap. Because if you beat the gap, you have a chance for birdie on that hole now because of how much we cleaned it up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah. But you got to beat the gap. If you don't beat the gap, you could still make par on that.
Mm,
You could still also bogey, if that makes sense. It's
mm.
easier to birdie. You could still obviously, if you get yourself in trouble, you could obviously have a chance of getting a bogey. But I feel par will be more level now.
Yeah, and then hole 5 is a long three. I just comfortably, depending on if you like, I don't know why, but I think it's just that right side tree line. It just really
This.
throws me
It's the
off.
same thing it's the same thing with hole 8, right? It's the
Hmm.
right side tree line that goes straight down in the creek, which is OB at 668 feet. And you have a ton of room on the left, right?
Hmm.
Problem with this and there's a fence that sits about 6 feet high that's 315 feet out there, just deceiving as all can be
Yeah,
because it sits at 16 because it sits about 6 feet high. There's a gap maybe 30 feet wide that you can down the center there. So
yeah,
it's very deceiving, and a lot of people don't make it over the fence at 315, which some people are like, how do you not make it over the fence? But the fence sitting at 6 feet high, people hit the top of it or they just don't. And you can't do these massive like hyzer, because if you go right at all, you're hitting the trees.
yeah.
You got to do
The trees are
massive
so tall.
flex.
So that's what I'm saying is like it's you have to throw this like almost line drive, and if you don't have the power, um, you know, to keep it low like that is just it's a really difficult hole, and that's
Which
that's what's really throwing me off because like I know I could throw further than 315 easily, but for some reason that hole is like my kryptonite, and I do not know why. And it's
so
like I
what I need to but sorry.
yeah, so I this is when I'm hoping that my there's two discs that I'm hoping that I could throw off the tee with that will work really well. It's just depending on how well they turn. Um, I kind of beat it in a little bit too much, so I don't really know because it's really almost turning into like a roller, and that is my insanity. Um, and then also I still haven't tried it yet, and that's why I want to get out into the field to try it. Is I might throw my mantra on it. Now, let me know if that's the right
Okay.
move. But I
Oh yeah, no, it can just Heiser flip it though. So I'm actually been switching it up a little bit. So the thing I want, so I've been throwing my Raider on hole 5 and 8 and playing the hyzer flip into a slow turn, finish, and then fading out. What I really want to learn and try to focus on, and hopefully this weekend I'll practice it as well. Um, I really need to get a slight Annie and just throw my destroyers and let the disc do its own thing. And like whole A example, do a nice Anheuser or destroyer and let that thing just flex back out over the fence. Just trying to get that to bomb and not massive Annie, just enough to be able to, get that. I'm not an Annie player. I've
Me
always
either.
got my forehand because I've always had a forehand. So the Annie play has never really been part of my game, but it's something I really do need to learn because there are some shots,
I
honestly,
overturn too
that you
much.
can't. There's some shots, honestly, that in general on courses, a overstable Anheuser is the best shot because the fact that a Heiser flip takes too long to flip up, to turn, and then come back over, where a overstable like a destroyer or something, if you throw that on Annie, you'll get that line quicker and be on a tighter gaps that you can't do with flip over or a forehand because your forehand is going to burn more right than left and you need a left hand, left finish or whatever. So there's some stuff I want to work on with that as well. But right
Yeah.
now, my main throw is my Raider because I try to hyzer flip it up enough. Again, hyzer flipping because that's what I do. I try to
Mhm.
hyzer flip everything. I really got to get that slight and hyzer in my game to get more distance, I think, in my game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to think is like maybe throwing an understable disc. I could kind of have that S line where I could throw it a little bit to the left, let it fade to the right, and then kind of cross in. Because like if I could get at least to that gap where the fence line is, and it's like at least roughly in that area where the fence line is, I'm definitely parring it. I always get once I get stuck behind that fence, I always tend to having to throw it a little bit more higher, and I don't get my much maximized distance. And my second throw always gets thrown off. And then I always underthrow my third one because I now don't want to overpower it. And so I try to like throw with less juice. And I tend to underthrow it. And then now I'm sitting at like a 45-foot putt, and that's like to me right now that's sadly a 4 out of 10 make. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the one hole that I'm like, because my goal is like I just want to try to play a clean card. um
That's all you need to do, honestly. We're MA3, MA4, and stuff like that. Honestly, like
mhm.
what we need to focus on is playing for par. Even though I've shot a -8, I've shot a -6 on this course.
Yeah,
You do that is you play for par, and the birdies would just come.
yeah, and that's the thing is
Um,
like I just want to like, my goal is to just play clean. Obviously mentally I'm not going to let myself get into it, because if I force myself going like, standing there on tee on hole two going like, I need a birdie, I need a birdie, I need a birdie. If I'm gonna say that in my head mentally, I'm not gonna birdie. So it's just gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna play for par every single hole. And then if I get a birdie, then perfect. That's a bonus. And then now it's like, okay, now I gotta keep it. Like I don't want to just use it as a buffer of like, oh, now I'm getting to hole five where I could just, you know,
mhm,
lacklustered it and then all of a sudden take a bogey. Like I don't want that to happen. Like I want to par
exactly.
that and par eight and par
Mhm,
15, 16, and 17 if I can't get the birdies. So that's how like when I do get to like, you know, hole two, hole four, even hole six, hole 10, um, hole 11, like I want to be able to capitalize on those very much so. Like birdie or die kind of situations, even though like
Mhm.
I'm still not going to mentally tell myself that. Like I just want to be able just to play well and maybe come out on the top or at least top three. Like that's what my main focus is for that coming up week. And I'm gonna play, like I said, I'm gonna play a little bit different. I always get into this weird mindset and yeah, just that's one thing I'm gonna do. And then obviously, even though we have to keep scores individually, um, I'm not gonna look at that live feed. Like
Yeah, and
obviously,
I've noticed and that bugged me about that too. You talk bring that up because everybody on the card is supposed to keep score.
yeah,
But I've noticed though what I do like about the PGGA um scorecard though is it doesn't when you put the scores in, it doesn't tell you what your actual scoring when you go to the next hole. Like there's nothing that shows all your scores
no.
unless you actually hit leaderboard thing or the full
Mhm.
cards and stuff like that. So I do like that because even though I'm keeping track of everybody's scores, it's still the last thing in my mind of what I'm actually doing.
But
So
at the same time, though, you do. It's like oh, I got a two, you got a three, you got a three, you got a four. Like mentally, you're telling yourself, like, well, where you're, positioned out on that hole. And then obviously the next hole, it corrects itself to whatever you're at. So if you're not teeing off first and you're teeing off last on that, then like, well, I'm not doing well. So
yeah,
like,
but you knew that anyway. So
yeah,
honestly, like, because when you go to the next hole and everybody's like, "What'd you get? That okay? What'd you get? That okay? What'd you get? That okay?" You already know what's going on anyway. So it's to
yeah.
me, it's really no difference.
Yeah. So I mean, like obviously, like you know what you're scoring on your actual card, and you kind of justify like what you do. But my problem that I always have is I will do really well on my card, and then immediately I'm just like, oh, I'm beating these three guys. I must be doing really well. And then like I check my score, and I'm like tied for like
15.
like 15th or something, at 15th out of like 18th, and then you're just like,
Uh-huh.
oh, like I'm only beating my card mates. Like
Well, it's time to grind.
it's just like, oh, okay. So it's just like that's my issue is like I need to not look at live scoring. Um, I mean, like obviously, yeah, like it's different when you kind of go in the second round, you kind of will know like the feeling because that's what happened with that one tournament that I was in. I didn't know what card I was going in until when I got there. It was like my card mates, but then like quite a few spectators, and then I was like, oh, like what card am I in? And then I find out that like I'm on lead card or chase card, and it's just like, oh, like there's actually people actually watching, and so that's when you're kind of getting a little nervous and you start panicking. But yeah, that's
I,
I'm
it'll be
excited.
a lot of fun though. Be a ton
But
of fun.
um when we are there in person, we'll probably be doing a post live pod. So basically meaning like we will do a pod in person. We'll have the camera. So we'll just one cam it. Um, and we'll have our microphones. We'll make sure that we'll bring them. Um, so I think what I'll do is we'll get another XLR microphone. Uh, the Rode mic, unless you have a microphone that could do an XLR cable.
I don't think this
Um,
does. No.
yeah, we just need one more XLR cable microphone. Um, and then which the Rode mic at Best Buy, they're actually pretty affordable. They're like $90. So I'll plan on getting that for you, and then what we'll do is we'll do a live one where you know we'll do a live whatchamacallit. Um, even though technically we'll be back home before our next technically recording. But I just think it'd just be cool just to do it live because we don't get a chance to do it. So, um, obviously we try to do it during a Christmas special. So I definitely want to actually take time with this one. Because we're building a lot of content anyways. So I think it'd be really cool to just do it. So we'll
Mhm.
definitely make sure to do it in person for you guys. But yeah, that's kind of pretty much it on that. Um, we're excited. Like I said, we're counting down. We're roughly um about like 2 weeks technically, or like
It's like a week and a half. Like,
yeah, like more like a week and a half, honestly, at this point. I think like what, like 13 days away. So I mean, but like flights for us though, flights are booked, car is booked. Um, we're coming up. Like we're not,
days,
huh?
12 days.
Yeah, let me see when I have to check into my flight. That's when it actually gets real.
Yep, 12 days, and then for you for Thursday,
7 days.
10 days is for when you guys are.
Oh, for me, it says 7 days to check in.
Oh, okay.
So, yep, we'll be flying into Midway and then uh yeah, and we'll be renting a car because sadly the only flight we could find left with two seats was a 4:30 p.m. to 10:14 p.m. So what we'll do is we'll just stay overnight in you know, so Chicago area, and we'll stay overnight there and get some breakfast and then drive the hour and a half, 2 hours, I believe, to Walnut.
Yep, because I got it Friday. I got to work anyways till noon. I get off, and then after that, we can do a recording practice round or whatever we want to do. To be honest, so
We're gonna go over to Rowdy's Quarter right now. So we're gonna let you guys enjoy that, and then we'll come back and talk about what Kyle did last weekend. So hope you guys enjoy Rowdy's Corner. Okay, we are here in Rodney's Corner. So I'm just gonna pass the mic already to Rodney for this week's recap and also preview show.
Awesome. Hello, hello. So I'm going to jump in and do our points for the last week, the Play It Again Sports Open. Um, so myself got 5 points total, and then Tyler got 4 points total, and Kyle took it this week. He got 6 points. So point standing after this is myself, Sarah at 25, Tyler at 17, and Kyle at 21. What's your guys' thoughts on how Play It Again sports was?
racking up the points. That's what I'm thinking.
I
No, it
know.
was overall though, tournament wise. Now that we've gone through the points, so past that part, the tournament came coming down. I mean, Epio, it was what it was. I mean, Park killed it. She went in the final round with a huge lead. She won with a huge lead. She won by what, 9 strokes. There's not a whole lot to say about the FPO side, to be honest, in that. The MPO side of things, though, was that a final day? Holy cow, was that so fun to watch? So many stories within there. Especially for like AB taking it down again, back to back tournaments. And on top of that, not have a good front nine. And he pulled it off in the final nine. And the way Calvin was playing, he was right up there. Ben Callaway lost it on last hole. Um, it's just absolutely insane. How many people were in it? As Ezra Adol almost took down it. You know, like there's
Hmm.
so many. This craft has been dominating the last couple of weeks too. I just have
Yeah.
to throw that out there. But yeah, just so much fun. But Ezra was now back to back second places, right? He finished second. Um,
I believe he tied for second. I believe, or he
yeah,
was in the top
and
three.
then he I know he tied for second for this tournament. I believe he finished second the last tournament too for them, which is insane. He's right there too. He's hungry as ever to get that big W. But I mean, it's straight up. This is just it's Anthony Bro is here. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the year of baby. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, I have to do talk about the whole FPO. I have to give props to the commentators. They try to keep it entertaining, but in reality, it's difficult when you have somebody just dominating the course. And uh I'm not gonna lie, it was weird because the only time I love watching the massive domination that Tatar can have when she's actually on, she's actually feeling good, she's healthy, she's not dealing with any injuries or anything like that. Like it's nice to watch, but man, I'm not gonna lie, this one for some reason I was a little bored because like there was no conflict happening, there was nothing really going on. Like it was great. Like, don't get me wrong, it was amazing watching her win, but I do understand now when people say like, well, when there's such a massive gap, if there's not somebody at least testing them, it does get a little like, all right, cool. There's not really much of a story. It's a win, and that's pretty much it. But I do have to agree, though, MPO, it was electrifying. It was super fun to watch. It was amazing to just be able to be immersed. There were so many people in condition for the win, and it was just so cool to just see it. And obviously the people who wanted it played hard, and the people that try to stay up there just did not have the opportunity to be able to stay, and they definitely started losing it. And it was upsetting. It was crazy. I mean, the last bit came in tied with Calvin and AB. uh Sadly, Calvin went OB, and then AB was able to land it. And it's just like the only thing he could do was just go for it, to at least stop it. So, add a little bit more pressure for him. But other than that, it was just so cool to watch it. And obviously, I I'm gonna say it. I think I said it before already, but I just think that AB is gonna be our world championship for this year. He's gonna be
Oh,
the
I could see that too.
I think this is AB's year, like you said. I think he's the new world championship. Unless something goes crazy, unless Isaac Robertson wakes up, unless Paul Macbeth wakes up again and try to get a seventh. Or maybe Eagle just pops
Healthy.
off, which obviously that's a story of on its own of him coming back.
I
Which
mean,
isn't he
But
coming back early?
yeah, he was
yeah,
supposed
he's
to
coming back a week early.
a week
He's because he was
early.
supposed to come back for Champions Cup here in Illinois. That's the tournament we talked about going to, but we're gonna end up hanging out with my daughter and everything. But he was supposed to come back that tournament, but it is a week early, which is exciting to see. I like the warm up. I love seeing the warm up. Coming back and stuff like that. But not only Eagle coming back healthy and seeing how he performs, especially with MVP. This is his first tournament officially with the new
Yes.
bag, and seeing eventually if how Calvin does too. He has zero forehand right now.
Yes.
He's not playing with forehand right now because his elbow injury, and that's why, which a little tease for later, I'm not picking him this week in my top three. When we get there, I'll talk about why that is. But yeah, it once. I mean, Calvin's not playing 100% healthy. Eagles just now coming
Mm.
back.
I do want to,
Gannon Burr's still playing solid, so there's a lot of
yes.
people that can win, but
And
AB's still just coming up on top.
yes, AB is just proving he's versatile. It doesn't matter what course it is, doesn't matter who the contenders are like with him. Like he doesn't do better or worse with whoever's on the lead card with him, or if he's on a chase card, like he doesn't give up. Like he said, he thought he was out and then threw an eagle, and just like that, he was back in it. And he was like, I could have gave up and been like, not, it's today's not the day. But he was like, no, you just got to keep going with it. But I will say, even for FPO, it is nice seeing names that you haven't seen in a minute. Like Simon was up there, even though he did have a back injury. So he was like, I'm going to push through because I'm up there. I need the points. I might not play next week. But it was nice seeing him finally up there. It was nice seeing even, I don't know her first name, but Beach. She was up on the,
Yep,
we haven't
she's
seen
finally
her.
back up there.
She was back
in a
up there. So
while.
it's like slowly people are up there, like Ben Calloway, like you said, like they're all slowly coming up, but consistently there's the few obviously that we pick who are consistently up there or on the lead card. But it is nice to see names that we're not used to seeing up on the top. So, but if there's nothing else for last week, if you have something, Kyle?
Nope, nothing for last week. Just I have some stuff for when we go into
I
Music City Open.
I do have one thing, and I don't know why, but I absolutely love watching Jonesboro. Like that course is so cool, the layout. I don't know why. I absolutely enjoy watching it. I just wish they stopped using drone shots. I will just say it. I'm just tired of them.
Like you said, for FPO, it just looks like it's so sad of the turnout, and it's like, stop showing that. Like
it if there was like hundreds of people and you're like, we have a drone up, look at the amount of people that are watching. Like there's hundreds of people, but they're relying it as too much of a transitional piece, or even just kind of like a saving grace, where when their production crew is moving, they're just like, oh, we're gonna just throw it to the drone while we get into positions. Like, no, like there's nobody else playing. You only have the feature card left. Just have everybody still in position and just have the camera set and ready to roll, and stop relying on the drone, because it just makes it awful. Like the last shot, like we're going to hole 18 for FPO, and there was maybe like 30-40 people in that shot, and it just looked awful. And it's just like so upsetting. But other than that, though, I don't know why. I love watching Jonesboro. It's just really cool. I think it's because I really like their whole one. I don't know. It looks so cool. I don't know why.
yeah.
But
And a lot of players just love, like, speaking of real fast, talking about it, like the fact that Kelvin has either ended in first or second every time he's played, like that's so impressive. Like that's, it's fun to watch. I'm like, is he gonna get it again, or is he gonna, and he's still finished in second. But I will say my gut after I picked my people last week for FPO, I even said, I was like, you know what? I'll just give Ella a chance. I haven't picked her. Maybe she'll pop off for distance. But I really feel like I should have picked Evelina, and then Evelina's up there again. And I'm like, dang it. But you know, you learn. But so we'll go into this next one, which is the 2024 Music City Open presented by Lone Star Disc in Nashville. Since Tyler hasn't picked first in a minute, I will let Tyler go first.
oh right, it's because apparently I have the worst points here. I'm always in third. I always try to go for the sneaky cats, and the sneaky cats are not being sneaky. So I've given up on that this week. So this is difficult because there's a lot of people injured, and I'm gonna go with MPO first.
No. We go
Was it
FPO. We go FPO first.
okay? Well then, FPO simple. Qatar first, Gannon second, Hanley third. There's no explanation. I feel like Gannon, she needs a good week. This is a good week. Music City Open. Hanley, it's Hanley, and from just because of last week, It's going to be Tatar. There's no questions. Absolutely. FPO right now is just kind of locked in until somebody gets injured or randomly Paige Pierce starts actually playing again
Yeah.
and Chris Tatar or not Chris Tatar, Katrina Allen. Other than that, no.
Well then, all right. That was a very short and simple. Kyle, I'll let you do FPO as well.
I have, of course, Tataris at first because until like I said, it's really hard not to pick Tatar every week. I mean, I'm always gonna pick Tatar unless she's not playing, which I know she usually does take a break at some point in the season. It's a really long season. It'll get exciting then. But till then, Tatar will be number one. I am taking Hanley second in this course. I don't know. I feel like this course at Music City Open can really suit her game with this nice sidearm. She has a really powerful sidearm and the backhand. I think the it's the same reason why I'm taking Evelina in third place is because the same thing. It's she has great game on both ends, and I don't know, Tatar, Hanley, Evelina just feel like the strongest three in my opinion. I consider Missy because Missy did take it down. Not last year, Tatar I believe won, but I think Missy took it down the year before, and she does do pretty well here. But I do know the scoring is usually really hard here, though. Like I think last year Tatar and one other person finished under, and the rest finished over. So it'll be interesting to see how the scores shape out this year. But Tatar, Hanley, Evelina.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Kyle and I somehow picked the exact people and the exact order. So I have
Just like us
Tatar.
last week.
Yeah, I know. I have Tatar in first because it's Tatar. Like I cannot not pick her. I have Hanley in second, mainly because the way she showed up last week, it seems like her little like hiccups that she had the last couple of weeks, it's finally like she's back on the uphill for it. And then I have Evelina because, like I said last week, I was like, I should pick her. Something's telling me with her distance, like she's gonna be rolling again. And she is. This is the first time this year. It's not a lot of games, but that I haven't picked Own. It feels like she's in a little bit of a not playing as the best as she can. So this is the first time I'm not gonna pick her. So yes, I have Tatar, Hanley, and then Evelina. And then go ahead, Tyler, for your MPO.
All right. So now here's the actual story that I've been trying to say. So this one was very difficult to pick because obviously last year this is when Simon Lazat just started popping off randomly. So he ended up actually taking it down last year. And so it was difficult because and also Eagle was not here last year at this point because he was dealing with his injury. So and AB was, I believe, second or third place. I don't fully remember. I think he was second, and then I think Calvin took third or something, third or fourth. I don't fully no, it was definitely third. So Simon with his back injury, I just really don't think he's gonna play well because especially the last round uh from the previous weekend. He was in fourth place and he just dropped to like 11th or something.
I think he
I
finished seventh. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he would just fell off and he was not feeling it, and you could tell. And I know he pulled out for OTB skins match and trying to recover. So right now for me picking him is really much of a liability. I don't really think he may actually DNF. I don't really know. Especially now, you know, with the second baby on the way, like his mind's very much of like wanting to be home, and especially with the last podcast that I heard, um his first child, so his son, he's now realizing when like daddy leaves, he doesn't know when he's coming back, and so he's now dealing with that like guilt of like every single time I leave, my son starts crying, and like it's very difficult to leave because he's now knowing that when daddy leaves, we don't know when he comes back. So I know that's going to weigh on him a lot as well. So I just feel like he's going to DNF. So with that being said, Eagles back. He's been grinding. And so I feel like he's going to come in hot. And the Phoenix has come out of the ashes type of situation, like his rebirth. He's going to sell those like hotcakes this weekend because this mother effer is winning Music Open 2024. So first place, obviously Eagle. Second place, the mini Paul Macbeth AB. And third definitely goes to Calvin Heimberg. I'm a little iffy on that. I just know that he's still stuck it, even though like he's dealing with his own injuries as well. But I just feel like Calvin's Calvin. He's gonna just throw on his robot form and just play his little heart out, but with no emotions.
As Kyle's shaking his head, I'm like, wait a minute. What do you know that I don't know?
So yeah, I'm gonna put Calvin Heiberg at third.
All right. Kyle, give me your hot take real quick.
So I'll give you my three.
Okay.
First, I'll explain why I don't have Kelvin in there. So I have Ricky as number one. I don't know. He's bound to win one of these, and it's not like he's playing bad. He's in a lot of these matches. Like he's sitting there in the top, up and down and stuff like that. Anthony Bro, second. As much as I want to pick AB first, I really, really want to pick AB first again. Winning 3 in a row would be insane. Would I love to see it? Absolutely.
I mean,
I think it will happen.
Tatar proves that it's possible.
Yeah, but this is MPO Fields.
Yeah, no, this is different. Yeah.
And then I'm going to pick Ganning Burr for number 3. Especially because AB has such a good crushing sidearm too. So that's why I really feel like I should have picked him as number 1. I'm going based off a lot of forearm throws. So the reason why I didn't take Calvin here, because as much as I would love to take him to top 3, is this course has some extremely demanding sidearms holes where you got to throw for something. And like even Yuli said himself that he thought about dropping out because he's going into the tournament almost 7 shots behind because he could only throw a forehand 350 feet. Calvin has 0 forehand right now, and he said he will not throw it at all. So he thought about not playing this week and skipping for the just go down to early to here in Illinois and play his rounds and practice. But he knows that they changed a couple holes up, I guess, in Northwood. I haven't been down there, but he said he, like most people, he plays really well at that course and he knows that course extremely well. So he said he'll grind it out anyways. He'll go for it. But the fact that he's already sitting there on the fence of even playing this weekend, I was like, I'm not going to pick him. No sidearm, basically, what it sounds like on this course. You're at a massive disadvantage.
Well,
and
that's
Ricky,
great.
AB, and Burr all have massive sidearms.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, my MPO, my number 1 is Kelvin. And then I have AB, and then I have Eagle. Eagle is my man. I gotta pick him. Now I'm very worried about 2 of my picks. Because I don't know if Eagle even really has a sidearm because of his healing.
He's been throwing sidearm.
Has he? Okay, because I know last year he was like, I refuse.
It doesn't matter though how far it's going. Because like I said, even Yuli said he can maybe max out a sidearm about 350-ish, and it's still not enough for these sidearm shots that they need to hit.
That's Eagle on like a 50% on a good day. Like for 350. Like that dude could bomb.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee he's throwing at least
80%. Demanding.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm not too worried. That's why I also picked AB because I mean, like, obviously, the dude's just a beast.
Crush too.
Yeah, no. So I mean, like, honestly, the only reason why I picked Calvin was because of right now I'm going by history, and history he came in third last year. So I'm just like, if he doesn't do well to begin with, I still have a feeling he's gonna just do well, just play smart golf. But then at the same time, though, we could see somebody, squeaking in that's a little more of a forehand driven type of person.
Mhm.
So I mean, we'll see. I mean, I
Well,
know Chandler Kramer is
Hmm.
specifically only a forehand player.
Which
So
just can play to his game.
yeah.
so we could see him being popped off. So
Well, yeah, I just picked Calvin. I didn't even think about that he's still dealing with his injury, like technically. Because he's been in the top two or top three, like tied this last few since he's been back from when he DNF'd. So I was like, oh, he's gonna get one eventually. So like I'm just gonna put him up there. Like he's robot Calvin. And then you said something and I was like, oh, you're right. He did not throw a single forearm this last few times he's been playing. So we'll see what happens. But I have, like I said, I have Kelvin, then AB, and then Eagle. I'm really excited to see Eagle back. Um, so yeah.
I'm excited to see Ego back as well. That's something I had in my notes when I posted to you both about some stuff I wanted to hit. But speaking of injuries, somebody has been playing sneaky good though for dealing with what he's dealing with. Dickerson last week even got another top 10 finish. Sneakily been pacing in the top 20, top 15 each round. Since last October, he has been dealing with a hip injury. So he made a massive, like a long post about 3 hours ago. And he says, after having two radiologists and orthopedic surgeon review my MRI images, there are a lot of findings. I have moderate to severe osteoarthritis. I can't even pronounce the word. Doctor, in his hip, it's bad enough that it caused multiple bone spurs. Yeah, and he also has something else, which means that part of his hip is actually not getting blood flow. As a result of that, his bone is dying. Yeah, it's insane.
What do you even do
Um,
for that?
yeah, and
hip replacement.
yep, and it's very tiny and localized right now. Um, his hip apparently deformed enough that they asked when I was born with a birth defect or had been in a major car accident. So back in October, he slipped on a T pad, and I guess it's been hurting since then. So that's what he's been dealing with this since last October. Um, so basically, he said, I never had any issues with my hip until the T pad slip at the DGPT event championship in October. After rehabbing it all off season, it felt 90% better. There are certain things that can cause pain in front of my hip or groin, but it's more than manageable. Um, Seth Muncie suggested I get an MRI after discussing my pain with him at chest.com in Florida. We were hoping to rule out any major problems. This obviously is not the result I was hoping for. The doctors have talked the doctors I have talked to so far have told me the only options are shots for pain and eventually a total hip replacement. They have also said that if I can put off the hip replacement until I am 50 at least, that's
Yeah,
ideal.
I just looked up his age. He's only 31.
Yeah, and the doctor said it's ideal for them to try to hold off on this until he's 50. So this is something that he's gonna have to, because he even says later on in the post um that he's far from done with disc golf. Um, that he's accomplished some great things in his career, but he still has a lot left to give to the sport. So he's
100%.
nowhere close to being done. But you've been wondering about Chris and what's been going on. Well, here it is. It's a nuisance that he's been dealing with, and a pretty. He like you said, right now it's localized, it's minor in a certain area. It's actually bigger in the big grand of scheme of things.
Goodness. Because you can only get, I'm assuming, I mean, he didn't state it, but normally if it's like for pain, because I know like with mom, you can only get like cortisone shots, but you can only get so many of them because people get addicted to that. So I wonder what he's gonna be able to do because 50 is not he's not close to it, he's still got. So oh my goodness. And then if it happened on a course, is there anything, is it just like, oh well, like do they make
Mm.
changes
I mean, I'm
or
sure speaking of changes, so the Music City Open announced a day ago, I believe it was, or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Sorry, apologies. Here's the updated post they had though 13 hours ago. Is we wanted to shout out X Step Pro Turf from Disc Concepts here at MCO. The update from a previous post, this turf is going to be the standard for DGPT going forward in 2025. Not the entire T-pad. Turf was reviewed and selected by DGPT and the DGPT competitors and is already in use or being phased into multiple tour courses. Concrete T pads are also going to continue to be used at various courses too. We also take pride in our T pads at MCO and have spent a lot of time working on them with design and install help by Sean Sinclair. We're looking forward to seeing the pros play at MCO and see what the feedback is. So
oh
they still will have some cement T pads at courses, but a lot of the stops are converting to this specific T pad. So they are standardizing the actual T pads. And I've heard rumblings they're supposed to be doing that with the baskets too. I guess they did. Apparently there's some rumblings that they actually are working on a deal or have a deal in place for baskets standardized too.
oh
So that might be something in the future going on.
so are we not going to hear Gannon Burr on live anymore of these baskets?
Yeah, that was amazing when that
No, because
happened.
Tyler showed me the screenshot and they're like, did we just get that live? And then he had a reply of like, yeah, because they do. And I'm like, oh dang, okay. So since I don't play, I just like caddy. Have you guys both thrown on a turf? I know you guys have thrown concrete, but
Habit.
like
Yes.
you haven't, Kyle, but you have, Tyler. What do you think about them?
I mean, I don't know if it was standard like what they're dealing with right now, but I mean, like they're fine. Um, I don't. I never played with them before though when they were wet. I mean,
Oh.
there's a couple of the ones that we played in Panama City, that they were turfed. They, it's, um, yeah. I mean, like it's just a different feel. I mean, personally, I don't really have anything to say about it. I mean, like there is traction. It's nice script. I mean, the ones that we had there, it was good. But yeah, well, I like to see how they have it this week. Just to see like the
Mhm.
standard that they're dealing with. But I mean,
And
yeah.
luckily, the pros will give their honest feedback of like
Oh, 100%.
hate these like
Yeah.
publicly or
And
But
I do know that we're recording this on a Tuesday, and I know
mm,
Brody and them's tour life is going on right now, which of course, check that out. I love watching them. But I watched a little bit of them. That's how I know about Calvin news and stuff like that.
mm,
Um, before we jumped on here. But they didn't get to that part with the patch yet, but they were going to discuss that as
mhm,
well. And I can't wait for tomorrow while I'm at work to dive on Yulia and Brody talking about the turf pass. I'm sure, like most, like this is what they're hoping. They've said this in multiple podcasts about standardizing things like T pads, baskets, and different things like that, just to make things like there's no these back. I right now you would think a lot of these pros know, like, okay, these baskets, if you hit top left of the basket, if they like spit out. Like you play on these baskets so much that you should be able to know each basket. But to do away with all of that, once you standardize the basket, there's no excuses. So you like them or you don't, but this is what you're gonna have to learn. This is what you're gonna get used to. This is what you're gonna have to deal with. And I said with T pads, like there's so many like Maple Hill, they have the brick, and if it rains, it's bad because it's slick as can be. Some of the concrete, if there's not grooves in there or anything like that, those could become slick if wet. Like so these turf pads are supposed to um apparently they're supposed to um seep through better. So when they get wet or it's raining, they're not supposed to get slick. They're supposed to be pretty firm with your traction and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know how the weather is going to be there in Nashville. So if one day can rain a little bit, just to kind of get an idea, it's probably a good test. I mean, you kind of hope for it, but
Well,
it'll
yeah,
be
because
interesting to see.
if it's good weather, everyone, if they like it, they're gonna be like, they're great. And then you don't know how it is with bad weather. So, but yeah, I was wondering, because I mean, it's not as common like pros, but when bad weather happens, at least for amateurs, like you guys slip and fall. Like pros obviously do, but it's like it's not really televised when it happens. But I was always wondering, like, how do you help not get people injured in because you're throwing so much harder when you're going off a tee pad. So you need that good grip. And as a non-player, I always watch like nervously for certain things. Like I've been with Tyler when it's raining, and I'm like, how are you not like, how are you stopping yourself properly, but not like you don't get to throw it the way you want to throw it because you're too worried about falling. And I'm like, how do you fix that so that people can play all year round, like amateurs, like you guys do? Your Kyle's in the winter outside and snow playing. It's like, how do we help make it safer, like standards?
Yeah, and but at the same time though, it's just like every sport, like uh it's just caveat of like, you could try to reduce the injury as much as possible, but there's just going to be accidents and slips and falls that happen. Like the notorious 2 years ago when Kevin Jones like literally slipped and fell off the tee, but he ended up getting the ace during the skins match. Um, it's just notorious of like it just happens. It just depends on just
Real
how
fast,
how, how you land and whatever. So
real fast. I did look up the weather. Friday it is supposed to rain. And then Saturday and Sunday it's supposed to be clear. So they'll get a
um,
but then also Wednesday, because aren't they like practicing coming soon? So Wednesday it's supposed to rain as well. Um
They practice
this
all
week.
week. They usually get in on Monday or Tuesday, and then they practice
So
for the week.
yeah, because it's raining tonight to Wednesday, clear Thursday, then rain Friday, and then clear Saturday and Sunday. So they'll get a good judgment of the turf and everything.
Yeah, it'll be a very fun tournament to watch and see what happens. Since we are talking disc golf pro tour, this is what this segment is all about, is the pro tour in general. I do have one other news just in general about the pro tour. Disc golf pro tour signs comprehensive partnership with US Integrity. um Today, the U.S. Integrity and the Disc Golf Pro Tour announced a comprehensive partnership that will begin the process of launching professional disc golf into the world of regulated sports wagering. I wanted to bring this article up too because Ty talked about it last week when we were talking about March Madness, about he has a gamble or bet on things because of the fact that you start, it's hard not to. And we're getting it in the disc golf. So, U.S. Integrity is an integrity monitoring service provided that has worked with various professional sporting organizations and major sports books to ensure compliance and fair play. U.S. Integrity will serve as the DGPT's consulting and integrity monitoring service provider as the tour works towards offering wagering opportunities to fans. As sportsbooks begin to include tour events, U.S. Integrity will provide the DGPT with integrity monitoring services via its proprietary dashboard, which will encompass data intelligence and fraud prevention. To deliver the service, U.S. Integrity conducts analysis across dozens of data sets of proactively identify irregularity, contest level, and wagering patterns. Um, they say, we're excited to partner with U.S. Integrity as our next step towards offering our fans new opportunities to engage with competition as well as spreading the story of excitement of disc golf to new audiences. That Baker Houghton, GPT VP of Business Administration. As we take this step forward, we're glad to be working with a leading compliance organization to ensure that all wagering on Disc Golf Pro Tour is centered on the values of transparency, accountability, and security from day one. U.S. Integrity is proud to partner with DGTP as engagement and viewership continues to elevate domestically and internationally, added Matthew Holt, U.S. Integrity CEO and co-founder. U.S. Integrity's mission is to provide conflict-free, best-in-class insights and compliance solutions to our clients. Baker and the team at DGTP are now part of that mission. So we have gambling coming to Scuff, which its tar is actually sponsored by a gambling company across the seas.
We saw
Also,
this coming.
yeah, it was slowly coming in. And as they stated in the article, which is true, when there's a lot more engagement or following, even if you don't necessarily watch it, you're keeping up with it. Example, if they put it on to DraftKings or FanDuel, they have where like NASCAR. I haven't watched NASCAR in years. I've kept up with the here and there because if I get a free bet the week, I'll make a lineup of NASCAR drivers and I will glance every once in a while, see what's going on, just to see my drivers I picked. It's there. Even though I don't watch NASCAR like that, like it does have a way of getting people engaged to things. Horse betting is something that someone I know has no idea about it, but sports book DraftKings actually has horse DraftKings horse or something like that, and you could actually watch all these horse events and bet live while you're watching and stuff like that. So it's like you're at the track. So it's very innovating where people are watching and engaging in some way. So it may bring people to the sport and help engage people of at least an idea of what disc golf is and somewhat follow it just because of the fact, oh, we can make money off this. I'm going to engage in it. And that's the biggest thing.
Is it going to be every tournament or just big ones?
Probably all majors at least.
It'll be all the tour like any of the whatever's on the schedule for DGPT probably be on there.
Okay. Well, because it's kind of like, a lot of people don't really pay attention to, like Silas, you guys talked about earlier, like March Madness or college basketball until March Madness hits. And then it's everyone's gambling, everyone's watching, the views go up. So, and like you guys both pointed out, Tatar is already sponsored by somebody for gambling. So, like, I think the very first episode where I jumped on, you guys were talking about it, or if the first episode you guys had was like, this is going to happen in our future.
Yeah, we already knew this coming. The only caveat that the only concern I really have with this is, what is the breakdown for bets? Like, obviously you have the typical ones of like who's taking it or whatever, but I do remember though, I think it was back in 2022 or 2021, there was one online betting service that actually provided disc golf betting already, and it actually flopped. They did not do well at all with it, and because it was hard for them to keep up with the percentage of what they were going for, because they were talking about like percentage for circle one, circle two, and like scramble
Mm.
percentage and all that stuff. And um still we're dealing with inconsistent statistics for those calls, because even like last week, when I was listening to Pro Tour, Brody was talking about, oh, like Yuli, you have like a 98% in circle one or whatever it was. He's just like, yeah, that's wrong. He's like, that I definitely don't have that. And so there's, I mean, like, I don't know how true that is. Obviously it's just them just talking about them, but like I don't know, unless they have somebody there going to be running through it. Obviously they're going to have somebody on the app there live running through the percentage to make sure that everything is transparent, like you mentioned in the long passage that you read. So like obviously they might have something that they're going to plan on to roll out on day one. I just really feel it could go really well, because I feel like it is larger with viewership, and it's definitely more enticed now because of the whole Tatar, of like how well she's playing for FPO, but also FPO is just, it's it's so unpredictable that it definitely has more of that gamble rate already. So I could definitely see it going very well. It's just obviously they're gonna have all the kinks out before.
Yeah,
So
and the biggest difference though from that one sports, I forgot what it was called. I remember
yeah.
what you're talking about. Biggest difference is that's just another side one that like some of these when esports was blowing up because of COVID,
Yeah.
these sites were popping up everywhere with betting
Mm,
and stuff on esports, and they all flopped at the end because the bubble burst, But
yeah.
now that you're actually having the U.S. integrity partnership and everything else, we're talking sports books like
Yeah.
DraftKings and different things like that. I mean,
FanDuel.
and honest
Yeah.
And
FanDuel and anything like that. And honestly, if you look at, if way I would look at it is, I've made lineups on DraftKings with like fantasy aspect of it of um for ball golf, and I'm sure if you look at the way that golf betting works, probably integrate it in that same way with disc golf. Honestly, like that whole circle one percentage and stuff like that. It's not really I don't know if you necessarily bet on that stuff for ball golf. It's more so betting on players to win, lose, top, will they finish here and
Under
there,
over. Yeah.
or under over and things like that.
Mhm.
So it's more simplified in that way, and I'm sure they'll get it balanced out in that
Yeah, like I
way.
said, I don't really know the breakdown. I mean, obviously, I don't know how ball golf is for their betting because I don't bet. I mean, obviously, I do know a bit of it. Um, like one of the bets for like one of the popular bet was what Tiger Wood on fairway for first tee off. Um, is he going to make it on fairway or not? And so it was like I don't know what it was, but obviously he hit the fairway, and so people did whatever. So I know like those are like those small amounts of just bets of like whatever it is. So I
yeah.
do know that you get those random breakdowns, which is I think it'd be great. I think it that would go really well. I think it'd be really cool as well if they could relate some sort of fantasy league as well. That'd be really cool. I don't know how they would do that because technically it's not really
So
like a team base, but
here's here's a quick idea. So here's some of the stuff they have just in general. Um, They have like tournament winner, top 20, top
yeah,
40,
yeah.
end around leader, tournament groups, tournament three balls. Let's see. Uh
It would be kind of funny.
Things like that. So it's pretty simplified for golf. So you put it in that way. It's like, okay, top 10. I'm gonna bet $20 on such and such will get a top 10, this week at a plus 200 or something. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
what we're doing right now, like, but this time we're putting money on the line. Like, that's
Yes.
pretty
yeah,
much what's
exactly.
happening.
Yeah, because
So,
like you said, it's like we're putting, I mean, it's just points right now and all that stuff, but like we're doing the exact thing that people will be doing. We're just being more tight knit of like only the top
And I'm
three.
sure there'll be a bet on there, like who pick your top three. Like there. I'm sure that'll be a thing too and
Yeah.
stuff. So
I
which I'm
hope,
definitely doing.
yeah, I hope this gets kind of big where like the funny bets happen, kind of how like the Super Bowl, it's like what color is the Gatorade gonna be type thing. Because every time
Tatar blue.
no, but it's the truth though. It's like every day it's day 3 of the tournament. Tyler comes in, or day 4, whatever it is. He turns it on. He's like, I bet AB is gonna wear this jersey today. Turns on, he's like, oh, he is, or oh, he's not.
Mhm.
And then this last one with Kristen, he was like, that's not her normal day 3 outfit. I was like, put money on it. Like, let's go.
It
So
wasn't.
I
No,
want
it's
to.
not.
I know Brody may not hear this or see this, but give me a over under on if Brody Smith will like this week's trophy or not. Like that'd be amazing.
oh,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Or like, yeah, is he gonna make a
Hey,
comment
that
that
won't
he
be a
likes it or
thing,
not?
but that would be amazing.
No.
Yes. So there's some fun ways where I feel like fans are already dedicated to watching the sport, are going to have fun with it. And then, like Kyle said, it's on an actual bigger platform, a trusted platform where like you don't even have to watch it, but you're like, oh, I have a few bucks. I'm gonna throw
Turks are
something
gonna bet.
in. Yeah, because of the how easy is it gonna be that everybody just looks it up, like, oh, Tatar wins. I'm gonna put money on her, and then you're like, oh, I won, and you just kind of start getting into it. So I think this is good to help grow. They already have big sponsors, so I feel like this is like fun ad to make it more relevant in like the sports world, because they want to grow. So betting is a part of that.
I'm open for it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
No,
I
I
think
think
that's it.
yeah, I think so. All right. I am out of here. I'm excited for the music open. It's wasn't real fast. I'm trying to remember. Didn't wasn't the music open when Simon won on the chase card?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh,
Because if it is, that'd be kind of exciting if that happened like again. Because Kyle Klein has been almost got that, but
I just don't see it happening this season. This season has been it's been very tight for NPO. I mean, I could be
yeah.
wrong because I mean, but I just
I know Anthony was on a chase card. He was on a lead card, but he felt like he was on a chase card at Jonesboro.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah,
Oh,
he
but
was
that
on
was a
the
lot of
lead,
fun though.
but that was a lead. He was on a lead, but he was like, "Oh, I thought I was out after my first 9, and then I threw an eagle, and I was like, oh, I'm back in it." So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm kind of nervous about my picks. I was confident, like, yeah, and then we'll see.
you want to put
But
money on it. $5 per person.
no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm 4 points ahead of you both, so I have room, a
Fine.
little bit of room. I'm 4 points in front of Kyle. I'm 8 points in front of Tyler, so
You
I
want
have
to
a bit of room.
fine, not money, but you want to put points on that?
No, sure don't.
Dang. I would have at least given at least 3 of my points.
Because you're in last.
Hey, you win some, you lose some. I'm not like Connor. I'm not like Connor wimp out. I'll actually bet and gamble. So
No.
all righty.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. Thank you. All right. So welcome back. So that was our pick for this week for the Music Open. Super excited for that. Definitely we have nothing going on this weekend, so we're going to be planning on watching all of that, and just super excited. Eagles back. which is going to be really cool to watch him. He's definitely been taking care of his arm, so I expect. I honestly, to be honest, the bar for me is very high for him. I'm expecting him to come in swinging, so we'll see how well he does, and hopefully he plays well. And just excited to see his debut with MVP. I just
That's my most excitement is for that as well. It's just watching him throw MVP
it's gonna be weird.
disc. It's gonna be awesome though.
It's gonna
I
be
obviously
awesome.
you see it on his Instagram and different things like that, clips of him throwing it, but actually seeing him on a course on a tournament throwing it, definitely a big difference. So
It's
super
just
excited to see that.
it's just gonna be weird, just on his back, just saying MVP. Like I just that is the one thing that I'm just gonna be thrown off. Is just seeing MVP on his
Mhm.
back, on his hat, just everything. So, but yeah, other than that, Kyle. So you talked to me kind of Sunday, which you had the opportunity to do. Would love to hear it, but just kind of give us kind of what happened, the breakdown, any stories you guys had. I would love to hear what went down.
Had a so it's my long weekend, so I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off,
Awesome.
which I'm paying for this weekend because this is my long week. So I work Monday through Saturday. So I work 6 days in a row. It sucks, but it's always worth it when the long weekend comes, though. So I put a lot of disc off. Uh, over the weekend and was it Saturday? So Friday we attempted to play me, Mike, and Larry, friend of the family's. We attempted to play. We gave up after hole six because we had consistent 40-mile-an-hour winds
Ugh.
where like it was impossible to play. Like it just was impossible. Like another guy that showed up, he on hole six, he putted his putt, the wind grabbed it, threw it behind him and into the creek. So
Mm,
that was basically where we were like, okay, we're done. So everybody kind of walked off then, but it ended up being worth it except for Saturday. Uh, my daughter started softball practice, so let them know, we should play around this time together and stuff. Well, Mike ran into somebody at the course and he asked if he could join us because he's just kind of playing around. He's from Pittsburgh and everything else, originally from California, 37 years in the Air Force and retired. Um, really cool dude, but I got to play around with the person that holds the record for the number three spot in the most played courses on UDisc. Walnut was his 2022nd course that he played at. He is only 20 courses behind the person that is in second, and that's what he said it was shooting for. Um, so that was really cool seeing somebody
that's
that's from
awesome.
Pittsburgh that just randomly came up. He loved the course, though, which is awesome. He's like, "You
Oh, that's
guys
cool.
got a gym here. You guys put on. I love because I talked to him. I was like, oh, I love what you're doing here. Like your involvement with this. I told him about our podcast. So hopefully he's listening now. But his name's Larry, Larry Clifford Kirk. He does have a YouTube channel. He does have with his adventures. He does have Instagram, I believe, and Facebook. But really cool dude. Like I said, 2022 courses. He's originally from California. He's now living in Pittsburgh, but was on his way out west again. And then he's basically going to circle himself back around and come back through Illinois and back towards Pittsburgh. So to be able to do that would be amazing, like
That's so
he's
cool.
just traveling playing courses. But overall it was really cool. He just kind of talked about his travels and stuff like that. I believe he is part of Gateway's team because it's with what he does with traveling and stuff. Gateway, he does have his own wizards, I believe, stamp wizards and stuff like that. Um, Overall, though, like I said, solid guy. Really fun round. He was pretty good. He loves rollers. He's really good at throwing rollers. He throws a nasty forehand roller and a really good backhand roller. Um, Stories wise, I can't really remember a whole lot of. I know he kind of just talked about different things he does. Like he was telling me about climbing on grain bins and taking pictures up there because people let him do a bunch of stuff. Like he meets people and um people visits fire stations, and he just travels and meets people and plays disc golf, which is really really freaking neat. And he said hopefully he'll come back this way through at some point and possibly stop here again, but we'll see if that ends up happening. Yeah, no, this is when I also learned that my putting game has been hot garbage. So I learned that.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. That's awesome that he actually gave the opportunity and like he ends up playing in it. Like I know we talk about it a lot. Obviously, the only reason why is because not only that, but Kyle does technically Walnut is a very small town. I don't even know if you guys are considered technically a town, but I'll just give you
We're
guys
a
credit on
village,
that. Yeah, like you
1,500
guys,
people.
yeah. So it's just but this course is literally across the street of your house. And so like you're literally like it's your front yard. And so and still to this day, I just think it's just very much versatile with a lot of things. Obviously, even though I don't really have the arm, but it is a shorter course for anybody who even plays MA1 or even pro. Like if you are playing that, then this course may not mean nothing to you, but it does have some technical shots that are great. Like we said, there are a lot of great holes in it. There that I feel are very great that they have. And as a person who is considered more intermediate base, I just really feel like it gives challenging moments. And like because
It does.
you
It can.
you you even
It
said
will
it
bite you. It will
because
bite you.
yeah.
Like there are holes that are birdie and die. Hole
Hmm.
two, hole one technically could be birdie and die, but if you
Hmm.
hit a tree, you're parring, so you're behind there. Hole three, you hit a tree, you're parring there. You're not going to be able to birdie. Hole five is a challenging. You got to throw it really low because it's ceiling super low. Hole six is kind of birdie and die. Seven,
Hmm.
if you it's deceiving because it's only 270 something. It feels like you should be able to get there at a massive hyzer or sidearm or Annie. But you could birdie there, or you get yourself in a massive mess where you leave yourself short because you hit that first available tree, you upshot it, you hit that tree that's in front of the basket, and suddenly you miss that putt because you're still pretty good distance off. That's a bogey. Hole eight can hurt you with the bogey. Hole nine, tight tunnel,
Yeah.
that can eat you up, so it does it can bite as much as these holes, as many of these holes you can birdie, it will bite you just as hard.
Well, yeah, like for example, I think one of my best rounds there was like a 4 under par. But then just recently when we were up there playing, I think I finished what, like a +6, +5, or sorry, +8 or something like that. Like, and that's what I'm trying to say is like it's so it's so all over the place. And like same thing with you. Like you've had days where you do very well, and then there's some others days where, you flatline and you just don't play well.
I haven't finished even once, like this whole month.
That's what I'm
It's been
saying.
bad.
And it's like it's not your fault. It's just that's how the course is. It's just there's never a moment that it's not windy there. So that's already gives you a challenge there. Like there's always wind there. It's just one of those courses, just like Waco, just like, a couple other,
It's
pro
gross.
stops is like, it just I don't know why, but that area, like you could be down in there, they call it Main Street, but like the main street of Walnut, it doesn't feel windy there. But then when you go down to the actual course, like where it actually lies, I don't know, is because it's technically more lower ground. But it's a wind tunnel. Like there's always wind. I don't think I've ever played there when it's been calm. There's always been at least some sort of wind. And and the thing is it's all over the place with, you know, with the wind read. And so it's just, to me, I've never had a course still really beat it. But at the same time though, I've only played a handful of courses, because I mean, like when we do play newer courses, it's because when we're on a family vacation, we just find like a local course we try to play, which is great. But um, and also now I don't really live in an area that has it does. It's just I just have to drive far. But but yeah, there's just, I don't really get the opportunity to really go out and adventure. I did wish I capitalized more on the courses in St. Louis. When I lived in St. Louis, there's several I did not go to or play. I just because um I don't know. I just not scared. I just don't like playing by myself. And so I don't really have any.
Mhm.
At the time, I didn't really have anybody playing. And same down here is like I don't really have anybody to play. So I just need to start just doing it by myself, sadly, which is fine. But yeah, it's growing pains on that. But yeah, I just feel still to this day that Walnut for me is my favorite course I've ever played. And it's probably because I'm biased, which is fine. Everybody's biased on their certain, feel. Like, I mean, I don't know if they're fully the number one fan of it, but I just feel, Trevor and Hunter could say the same thing with New London. Like they say that it's very difficult, and it probably is very, very difficult.
Mhm.
And but we won't know until how the course is actually played, this year for Worlds. So um we'll see how it is.
Yeah, I'm super excited about all that. So hopefully I can get a couple more rounds in. Maybe Sunday I'll play another round or get some kind of content recorded. We'll see which I decide. Monday as well.
I mean, like, honestly, for you, definitely do that, but I would just probably work on just putting, and then when you have a chance to actually like go out and like work, I would just work on things that you need to work on. And because when I come up, we're going to be making a ton of content already. So it's
Yeah.
like that's going to be a heavy week of just disc golf. And also now we're deciding that Saturday we're not going to go to Pro Tour. So that's a whole nother day. I mean, obviously spending time with family and playing games, stuff like that, that's our plan. But we still could play
Get
a rep.
something in.
We
Yeah.
still could get something in, that's a whole extra day of something. So like I would definitely utilize that time, for what it is and for what it's worth, for
main
like
thing I'm
content.
main thing I'm debating on doing is making another updated in the bag for just this coming up tournament.
Ooh, I need to do that. I'll do that. I'll do that with you. Like, meaning like
Honestly,
I'll
I've
record mine
I've
here.
taken some yeah, I've taken some out actually.
I still haven't made mine.
Yeah, I've taken some out from my last in the bag. Because now I'm putting with the pixels. Obviously, I have this coming in from gravity, so it's all gonna change
That's what
eventually
I'm
again
saying.
anyway.
Like, I mean, like,
Um,
that's why I'm like
like
really worried.
my mid ranges, a little tease here. I have three buzzes in my bag. That's it. That's my mids.
Um,
So that's how much my before I had like five different mid ranges in my bag, and now I
Mine
have
is
one mold, three of that one mold.
it's uh MD1 Hex Justice.
I do have a hex coming.
Um, I mainly am picking my MD1. Well, did I say MD3 or MD1? I think it's an
I think
MD3.
you said one. Okay.
It's technically MD3, I think. It's the Lazat McMahon Klein edition, the 15-year,
Yeah, because like I have
which I
so I
almost
have a
lost
Halloween.
in my
I have a
Easter's.
I have a Halloween buzz, which is the glow plastic, which is a little bit more stable version of a buzz.
Oh yeah.
I have a ESP buzz that's more straight fine. It does slightly turn, but not much. And then a pink buzz that really turns. So one disc takes care of, or one mold takes care of 3 slots for me, just like that. And they're all the same feel. So
Mhm.
that's why I kind of did that.
I normally grab my MD3 or my Hex. Those are my two main mids as of right now. Um yeah, those are my like my go-to currently right now. And
But
then
that might be my next video, actually. I might do an updated in the bag.
I
Now
might
I bag 3 of the same distant drivers. I bag 3 of the same mids.
I
So it's
honestly might wait until the 19th and see like what information we have, because that might change. So
right, right.
but yeah, other than that, I think that's all of our updates that we currently have. Is there
Yeah.
anything you wanted to say before wrapping this one up?
Nope, that's really all. I'm super stoked for the tournament. I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, as because we're even getting closer and we'll have more of an update on uh our team packages stuff. And who knows? Actually, that's the other thing to look forward to. So not only am I maybe for my YouTube channel do a updated in the bag, I actually may do a unboxing video, hopefully. So
Yeah, I might. It's
you will be hard because depending on when you get down the box in
I'm
and
gonna
when you gotta leave.
well, I gotta open it. Like if I get it before,
Yeah.
like I gotta
You
open
might
it.
as well just record it while you're doing
So
it. Like, oh, it's here. Let me do a quick recording of me opening it. Here's my
it,
unboxing video.
it's difficult because this one for my like obviously for you too, it's very much of like almost a mystery box, so you don't know what's in it. So like the other ones that I'm opening up, I know what's in there, so like I'm not sitting there going like this is a let me see,
Yeah, but that's kind of the
oh
fun
it's an
of you having the
origin,
mystery of it.
like
Yeah.
I know, but it makes me like it's terrible because like people could just see like a fully graph disc or whatever, and then just like look at the top and immediately they're just like, oh, this is an origin from Discmania. Like they could immediately know. And then for me, I'm like sitting there trying to like find the name in the back because they
That'd be a
always
challenge for you. I dare you to do it. Eagle it out. Eagle would do it and be able to touch the disc and be like, oh, this is what
uh,
this is.
yeah, no. Well, I mean, obviously I will because I want my first reaction for the pack because I really want to know
And I
what's in
want
it.
the jersey. I think that'd be great content. Even if you don't know what necessarily what disc you're getting.
I don't know.
But
I have
but you
zero
have
recollection.
I want to be able to see your jersey reaction, your hat, the bag, the grip bag with the chalk bag, I should say, like all that stuff. Like it'd be a cool, uh, legit reaction from you.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm gonna get so excited, and then I already know I'm gonna be talking about the grip bag. By the way, guys, the chalk bag, not the grip bag. I know that's my thing. I always call it the grip bag, but sponsor me, grip, please. Even though I don't own any of your bags because they're so expensive.
Send me one.
But you can send me one. But all right, guys. Hopefully, you guys have a great week. Like I said, you guys are hearing this on a Tuesday, or I'm sorry, on a Wednesday. We're recording this on a Tuesday, but you're listening to this on a Wednesday. This is our 19th episode. So one more is our nice big 2-0. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Please share and like this if you do like it. If you don't like it, then comment down below why you don't like it. And then we could definitely work on the kinks for you. So but other than that, guys, thank you so much for the support. Definitely leave down a comment of what you got going on so as we give you guys a shout out. Other than that, guys, enjoy the weekday and we'll see you guys during the weekend. Keep on playing disc golf, hit those local tournaments, guys, because we're the weekend warriors. We got to make it happen. And so we're excited to show you guys in 2 weeks what we do and give you guys a ton of breakdown and stuff. But then again, guys, thank you. And you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you later.